Coming up on The Chase, we take a look at our latest NCAA tournament projections. Let's get going. Hello, I'm Auston Matricardi. It's been a busy week in IU athletics. Let's cut to the chase and look at this week's headlines. The Indiana water polo team went 3-2 this past weekend at the Indiana Classic. The team's 2 losses came against ranked opponents, including a close 1-goal loss to Cal State Northridge. Despite the 2 losses, there were a number of positives to take away from the weekend.
We were hoping to win all of our 5 games, but I think it is a positive step, especially the way we played today. We were really proud of our efforts after how we played against Wagner last night, so it was a really positive step the way we executed the games today.
Earlier this week, the Indiana baseball and softball teams were scheduled to take the diamond here in Bloomington. That didn't happen. On Tuesday, the realities of playing in the northern half of the country hit the Hoosiers as a high of 19 degrees and snow forced the teams to either postpone or cancel their games. Both teams will hit the field this weekend. Baseball will travel to Seattle for the Safeco Field Tournament, and softball will be in Clearwater, Florida. The Indiana basketball team played a crucial game against the Illinois Fighting Illini on Thursday night. Michael Dugan joins us with an update on the Hoosiers' tournament hopes. So, Michael, after last night's win, where do the Hoosiers stand in terms of the NCAA tournament?
Right where they did before the game even started. I've said since that Michigan State win, this team controls its destiny through and through. You take care of the teams you're supposed to take care of. You've garnered enough quality wins to push yourselves into the tournament, especially with so many mid-majors on the bubble, most of which don't have the resume in terms of quality wins that Indiana does. Now, you beat Illinois, you go ahead, you beat Rutgers, you win at least a game in the Big Ten tournament. As long as you beat the teams you're supposed to, you should be in. Obviously, if you want to secure that, you go ahead, you get to Friday, maybe Saturday of the Big Ten tournament, you pick up a win against Wisconsin, Purdue, Michigan, Iowa. I don't know who. We don't know these matchups yet. But you pick up a win in a game where you're not exactly favored or expected to win, then yeah, you're very safely in the tournament if you're Indiana. But honestly, I think if they take care of business for the rest of the way, beat the teams that they're supposed to beat, I think they have enough quality wins to hang their hat on. And the committee will say, look, yeah, they had a rough stretch. It was a long stretch. But look at what they did before and after that. They play games in November and December for a reason. They matter. Maybe not as much as recent wins, but they still matter. So I think overall body of work, they've gotten enough quality games and quality wins to hang their hat on and say, look, we took care of business at the end. We got it together. We picked up a few wins. Let's go.
All right, thank you, Michael, for that. One more regular season game left for the Hoosiers as they'll host Rutgers for Senior Day. We're headed down the home stretch of the college basketball season with some conference tournaments already underway. Our resident bracketologist, Murphy Wheeler's got his latest NCAA tournament projections ready to go.
March is finally here, and that means bracketology discussions are heating up across the college basketball landscape. That also means we have our newest version of Murphatology as teams across the country are fighting to stay on the bubble. We start in the West bracket where I have my #1 overall seed in the Gonzaga Bulldogs. In this bracket, there are 2 Big Ten teams, as Michigan comes in as a 2 seed and Maryland comes in as a 6 seed. In the Midwest, the #1 seed is the Tennessee Volunteers, and there are 3 Big Ten teams in this bracket, as Purdue comes in as a 3, Wisconsin as a 5 seed, and Ohio State as a 10 seed. We then move to the East bracket where we have the Virginia Cavaliers as the #1 seed, and there are 2 Big Ten teams in this bracket as well, as Iowa comes in as an 8 seed and Minnesota is an 11 seed. Finally, we move on to the South bracket, where the Duke Blue Devils are the #1 seed, and there is only 1 Big Ten team in this bracket, as Michigan State comes in as a 2 seed. As we look at the bubble, my last 4 teams in right now are Arizona State, Temple, Clemson, and TCU. The first 4 teams out are Seton Hall, Furman, Belmont, and Creighton. As for IU, they're in the next 4 out, along with St. Mary's, Butler, and Georgetown. Major conference tournaments begin next week, but Hoosier fans should pay attention to the mid-major conference tournaments, as if there are any upsets in those that could shrink the bubble and hurt the Hoosiers' chances of making the tournament.
There it is. Another week of the latest on the Hoosiers Down. If you want to keep chasing IU news, make sure to like the IUSTV Sports Facebook page and follow us on Twitter at IUSTV Sports. Until next time, I'm Auston Matricardi.